Okay, mid-year physician recruitment check-in. So mid-year is a wonderful time to just check in on your open opportunities, things that may have been sitting out there for a while, and then consider pivoting your strategy. Part of being a great recruiter, as everyone on this call I undoubtedly know is just being proactive in your efforts, committing yourself to learning, unlearning things that may have worked in the past, and readjusting, relearning things, and really focusing in on things that work for you and make sense for you. In the last several months, we have faced several factors that have nothing to do with healthcare itself, but have had a measurable impact on the state of physician recruitment today. So I just want to, again, I'm going to toss a couple ideas out there just to get you thinking and, keep in mind the opportunities that you have that are still sitting out there and what maybe you can do to kind of shake things up and readjust your strategy. All right, here we go. So what open positions are weighing you down? AAPPR's 2021 benchmarking survey provides insight into the highest median days to fill your open positions. So I picked out a couple of the specialties that kind of take the longest from what I saw in the data. Using this information, you can measure your open positions against the up-to-date benchmarking information, and that'll help you as a recruiter kind of set your expectations for yourself, for your leadership, as to what specialties are likely to fill the fastest and what specialties may take a little longer. You can purchase this report through AAPPR. I will make sure that there is a link in the follow-up information that you'll get after the session. If you want to take a glance at the other specialties, if you're not seeing the specialties you deal with here, you can take a look at all the specialties. This is really good information. Again, it's really a good idea to measure your open specialties and the opportunities you have for specialties against the benchmarks, and it'll give you an idea of what's going on in the industry and how you can adjust your focus based on what's more likely to get filled. Okay. And again, I will make sure to include a link to where you can get this report in your follow-up information. All right, the landscape has changed since January. So aside from all the changes from the past, 2 years, just within the last couple of months, things have changed a lot. Um, we have had a number of factors that adjust the landscape and that might possibly impact the efficacy of your messaging, but that's okay. If you look at the factors and you look at what's going on, that should be a good jumping off point to know where you need to adjust and what information is more important now and what you need to focus on when you are communicating with these doctors. So we're having a looming recession. Everybody knows that a recession's on the border, inflation, increased cost of living. I believe the inflation rate last time I looked was about 9%, I believe. So, things aren't great. Cost of living for physicians is, the same headache as it is to all of us. They are not really in the interest of moving or relocating or going cross country, something that would have been maybe a dream for some physicians pre-COVID now, and it's not really the biggest thing in the industry to want to relocate for jobs. So just keep that in mind as you are searching, especially in the profiles database, because you do have those geo preferences where the physician prefers to be, and then that community type preference if they prefer rural or city or whatever. Make sure you're using those to tailor them to your opportunity and make sure you're getting the physicians that actually want what you have to offer. And I think that's just one of the great things about profiles is that way that you can use all of those filters to kind of really tailor your search to your specific opportunity. All right, so the Great CARES Act that was passed some years ago had a provision for student loan forbearance, but that is expiring at the end of August. So far as we know, as we've seen, that has gotten pushed back quite a few times. So, we're not dead set on August 31st, but as we know it as of today, it is set to expire on August 31st. So that means millions of borrowers are going to have to start making payments again almost after 2 years. So just keep that in mind. Physicians will be in all the data we've seen, in all the interviews, and all of, the research that we have for marketing, physicians are very concerned with loan repayment and forgiveness perks. So make sure, again, when you are thinking about your communication, whether that be an email or a postcard, or even when you're thinking about your job postings, loan repayment and loan forgiveness are definitely perks that you want to highlight, and you want to make sure they're seeing that, that is available if it's applicable, to draw those physicians in and get yourself some attention. All right, there's questions about COVID. Some people seem to think it's over. Some people think we're in the middle. I mean, we're in the highest point of it. I tend to think we're somewhere in between. We definitely know it's still going on. Vaccine and booster efficacy is in question against new strains, and predicting the new strain of COVID is next to impossible. So, you just want to think about what that means for physicians, what that means for hospital physicians, especially getting that training. I hear there's this new COVID hospitalist specialty that's starting to pop up, and thinking about specializing in specialties that can help with the COVID, not only dealing with people that currently have COVID, but also thinking about long-term COVID and how we're going to treat the respiratory and all the other issues that come up with that. All right, and then staffing shortages continue. So there is a nursing shortage. It's impacting healthcare. So that's putting more pressure on healthcare providers to step up, which can be beneficial to you if you have a stock of physicians maybe that you put on pause, or they weren't right for a particular opportunity you had at that time. It's always a great deal or a great idea to go back, maybe re-interview them, see if they can fit somewhere in. Because a lot of healthcare providers are taking on extra duties because of the nursing status, and that can shortage, and that can be beneficial to you as you are trying to fill positions. Okay. Control what you can control. So there's lots of ifs and what ifs and what can happen in doubt, but there are some things that you can have under your control. Understanding their needs, their wants in emails and job postings. So again, this is making sure you're pointing out the things that are most likely to draw those candidates in and make them more attracted to your opportunity. Definitely lead with compensation and location, emphasizing what they're going to get paid and where they're going to be is very important. We've, in our studies, found that physicians are very concerned with their take-home pay. The amount of patients they're treating actually is down in some specialties. So they're very concerned with their compensation, especially for the newer graduating classes. The pay that they may have thought they were going to get pre-COVID when they got out of school may not be the reality now. So, you want to make sure you're very clear in that, and letting them know what they'll be compensated and where they'll be working. Follow that up with the perks, the flexible work schedule, PTO, the low cost of living, et cetera. I feel like I'm not by no means a veteran in the recruiting industry, but for as long as I've been doing email marketing campaigns and posting jobs, it's always been location, location, location. That was like kind of the big thing. Now, post-COVID, it's more about lifestyle. It's more about, is this organization large enough that I should take a position with them? Do they have longevity? Is my specialty going to be in demand? The emergency medicines, the pulmonary critical cares, the infectious disease, these are going to be the specialties that are in demand. So make sure you're tailoring your communication and letting them know that and why your opportunity would be a great fit. Definitely, again, I kind of highlighted there, touch on loan repayment. It's very important with that forbearance expiring. So you want to make sure that you're pointing that out. Put yourself in their shoes. Examine your apply process. Maybe it's time for you to, maybe do some test applies and make sure your apply process is easy. They're getting the information. Examine how many steps it takes to get in touch with you or to respond to your opportunities. Is it repetitive? Are they having to follow up multiple times? Are you putting the onus on them to make sure that they get the information they need. No, you should be making that information readily available. As soon as they get your email or as soon as they click on your job posting, it should be clear how to get the information and make the process known to them. Make sure they know what's going to happen after they apply and how long it's going to take for your communication, for your follow-up. These are the things. Everybody's fighting for every little crumb, so you just want to make sure your process stands out. It's simple, it's straightforward, and you're getting the information to them and getting back to them. Following up is so, so, so important. Timely following up and making sure that you're keeping track of who you're speaking with, what part of the process you're in on your own, and making it as simple and stress-free for the physicians as possible. All right. And finally, check your marketing cadence. How regularly are you sending email campaigns or mailer campaigns? Our advice, or my standard rule of thumb, if you've been in my sessions before, I always say aim for 2 campaigns per specialty per month. Sending follow-ups after each to warm leads. Warm leads meaning people that have read or have interacted with your email or your postcard. And create re-engagement campaigns. Touch base with docs who are wrapping up their first contract. So they're not newly graduates, but excuse me, they might be finishing up their first contracts. Reach back out to them. Use profiles. Profiles has a wonderful experience lead section, experience lead section, where we go back so whatever given year, we go back the past 5 years and we go re-interview those candidates. We re-verify their contact information. We'll update if they pursued a particular fellowship or something like that. So take advantage of not only your current graduates, but go back and see if there's some interest with previous candidates in previous years. Okay. Set micro goals for the rest of 2022. So examine where your results come from. Make sure you're knowing how you're measuring your progress and measuring your goals, your read receipts, so that you can keep track of who's reading and who's interacting with your emails. You can use the tags in the notes and profiles database to make sure that you're keeping track of who you've spoken to and keeping notes on those conversations. Email marketing is a foundational strategy for physician recruitment. It's the easiest way. Everybody's always on their phone. Everybody reads their emails. So create a calendar and a rhythm for each opportunity, keeping in mind what's in demand, keeping in mind the specialties that are, more likely to bring you success and communication, and focus on that. Do what works. I just like to conclude here with a quote. Success is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformations. And when I read that, the thing that came to mind to me is everybody always wants to know, what's the best day and time to send an email, or what's the best template for a job posting. And the easy answer is there really is none. It's all dependent. It depends on what works for you. There's not one mystical, magical job posting or email that you're going to be able to send to every physician in every specialty, and it's going to work and it's going to give you results. It's just not so. Success is going to come in studying what works for you in your particular situation, using your resources like profiles, to organize yourself, not even just aside from getting the candidates and getting the candidate information, organizing yourself, keeping a track of your communications, and using their preferences and things like that to really make sure that you are speaking to people that actually have interest in your opportunity, and then enhancing your communications using their preferences and what they like to do and why they want to be where they want to be and what's important to them in life. And all of that information is right there in the profiles database. Okay. So I just briefly, we're all profiles users, but some of us maybe not, but I just wanted to just take a second to just go over just a few things in profiles, very high level. We're an online database. The special thing about what we do is that we have a private sourcing team that interviews all of the graduating physicians. They get their preferences, their educational background, and all types of information about who they are and what they're into to make communicating with them easier. Okay, so we have our physician database, which most of you all will be very familiar with. Here's a list of our available specialties, just to refresh you. If anybody needs this information, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to share it. So we have our physician search. Again, here's all your filters. All of this stuff is verified and it comes straight from the physician's mouth. So, you're really getting information. It's not, what we think about them. It's actually what they prefer and what they want to do. So use the information when you're speaking with them. We have our profile search. So instead of doing the individual physician search, you can go through the programs. You can connect with the coordinator of the program. I think that's kind of the coolest thing about the program search is that you can kind of create that relationship with the program coordinators. And now you have, direct access to provide your marketing materials and get information to prospective candidates. And another great thing is that we have every physician in the program, not just the ones that we've interviewed. So that's another, I would say, little pot of gold that you can kind of dig from when you're looking for physicians to contact. And I did mention our experience leads. So they only come in a few specialties. I've listed them here. And if you'd like more information about that, I'd be happy to send. But we go back, we update their contact information, we update their preferences and any fellowship or additional training or education they may have had. And it's a good source when you need a more experienced physician, or again, when you're just trying to retailer your search and go about it in a different way, aside from the most newly graduated physicians. And we do have access to advanced practitioner leads. So if you have any CRNA needs or NP or PAs, we do have a database of them where you could either export their contact information or you can send them an email actually directly from the profiles database and maintain your email delivery and things like that in there. So again, profiles, we try to make it simple. That's our thing. It's our info, it's your placement, and it's really that simple. Use the information, pay attention to the preferences. And I think finally, the most important thing, or the one thing that I want everyone to take away from this is that it's going to get better. Everything is cyclical. I see I'm not that old, but I've been around enough. Everything is cyclical. It's going to get better. We're going to get through this. And we're here to help. Anything I can do, or my team, our sales team, or our technical team, we are here to help. We want you to be successful, and I know I personally will do anything I can to help and get you the information you need to get those opportunities filled. All right. So again, just some things that I want you to think about. There's some concepts. If anybody would love to chat or ask for the follow-up questions, I will be sending out just a follow-up email. So you're more than likely to respond to that or give me a call. If you need any new years or specialties, if you maybe want to check out some older years of specialties, please let us know. And I hope everyone stays safe and stays well. I don't know where you all are, but it is very hot here. I'm on the East Coast, so please stay indoors and stay cool and stay hydrated. And yes, let me know what you need. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. I really enjoy doing these every month, and I look forward to seeing you all back here next month. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful afternoon.